Hello traders everywhere, Adam Hewison here, co-founder of MarketClub with your 1 p.m. market update for Monday, the 25th of July. Well, here we are again with no end in the debt ceiling problem. I think like everybody else, the market's just waiting to get this thing out of the way, finished, resolved one way or another, but let's move on from this pain in the butt thing that's happening right now. Well, this problem was not resolved over the weekend, and the market's acted in a dramatic fashion with gold jumping to 1,624 in early Asian trading. That's not exactly a resounding vote of confidence for the U.S. markets or the U.S. government. Right now we're in this market's kind of a flip of the coin type market. Whatever comes out of Washington will have an effect on the markets. However, having said that, we may be coming to an area in the S&P where we're going to have a natural technical problems. The S&P 500, in my humble opinion, needs to move over the highs around the 1370 level to really get going in the upside. I'm not sure that's going to happen. So let's go and see how the market performs today and how silver and gold closed. Okay, now let's go to the markets to see how we can protect and grow your money in 2011. Okay, well, here we are. We're looking at the S&P. It is plus 100. It's actually just below the PSR. That's the parabolic stop and reverse indicator developed by Wells Wilder. And we're just below the Donchian trade channel. So again, the market's practically unchanged after being under pressure early. Now, I wasn't so surprised that the market started off on the defensive, but it's come back quite a ways. I think what we're going to see, as I said last week, I think we're going to see more of this sort of two-way trading like this. And possibly round this out. However, the market needs to, in my opinion, get over this level right here, and that's the 1,370 level. We need to get over 1370 to really get this market going on the upside. But right now, it looks a little bit on the defensive. It's a little bit overbought here, but nothing to get so excited about. It's kind of a nobody knows. I mean, the market's telling you nobody knows. Last 2 days. Going nowhere. So let's see what happens tomorrow or today if they come out with something that's viable to the markets. We'll be talking about another market here later on today, the CRB Index or the dollar index, which could have a real bearing on this whole conundrum. But the one kind of surprise was here. We had the silver market, which is actually down on the day right now, just a little bit, but it was basically higher earlier. And I think that's the key thing we're looking at. It just really has not gone so well in terms of the weekly thing. But let's just go back to, I want to look at a daily chart. Let me do that real fast. And here's the daily. You can see we're basically jumping up against the Donchian trade channel, which could be an effect. We're a little bit lower for the day. Kind of mixed, down a couple of points, nothing dramatic, but again, this level here with the PSR, which comes in today, which you want to pay close attention to at 38.88 base. This is the spot market. We're looking at the spot market. This is real-time pricing. We're plus a 90, which means the trend is still up. We've talked about this huge energy base in this market, which is right here, and I think that's something to really pay attention to because I just don't think this market's going to collapse. But this is a big energy base, one that goes back all the way to the early part of May. So you've got May, June, now July almost. So it's a lot of information. I think we're building to go higher, but let's pay attention to it. But certainly the market made a new high, which you can't dismiss. And depending on how we close today, it could be very interesting to see how this market works out for the rest of the week. So let's take everything off the screen, clear the screen, go to our next market, which is going to be the S&P. Excuse me, it's going to be gold rather. And the gold's plus 90. This is the market that traded up to 1624 in Asia, currently trading at 1611. So it's come back some. You can see that was Asian's market. So we've come back some. But really, it's still in a positive mode. I think where we closed today is going to be somewhat important. But certainly this level here, the 1580 level, basis the spot market. It's a market you definitely want to, that's a level to definitely look at. Because look at how many days we had there. We had 4 days in a row. And now if we go below that level, that would be indicating we're going to see more of a pullback. But right now, it's not clear as that's going to happen, but we have seen quite a bit of profit taking today. Now, as we get later in the day and this market starts to pick up and we see it close let's say over the 16.12.62 level, let's say 16.14 or $3 or $4 higher, I would say that market is going to look pretty good. So let's see how that works out. So next market we're going to look at, as always, going to flip our little triangle here and go to our next market. And that is the crude oil. The crude oil is mixed, and we've talked about this before because we felt that this is, you get these scores. Once you get into we've talked about this before, the plus 60s right here, this basically tells you it's a trading range for the most part. And it's really not clear that you're going to see a strong trend in this market until later. So again, this looks like a possible energy field. Certainly we need to break over the $100 level. And if we do that, then I think we've got something going on the upside. But before that happens, we are just chopping back and forth. We're somewhat overbought, which means we may see a pullback. Again, intermediate term traders should be long this market. And we're long from 99.87, so right around these levels you should be looking to buy if you're an intermediate term trader, because we think that's going to push the market up. But certainly it's word for caution, because I think when the word comes out of Washington that they've got a deal, no one's going to like the deal, that's for sure. But I think it could be very positive for the market. So let's see what happens. And also if this market goes up, it's going to affect one of our other markets, which we'll talk about in just a second. So let's go to our next market, which is going to be the dollar index. And as you know, we've been talking about the 74 level as being a key level for this market. And look at the action we have had for the past 3 days. These are, it just, boom, we're at the bottom of the Donchian channel. We've had, this is 2 dojis in a row. A doji is when a market comes down like that and has a straight line. It has no action like here or here. Just, that's where it opens and closes. Usually it's a possible indicator for a trend change. We're minus 60, meaning we're in a trading range for the most part. We're mixed, longer term mixed here. So we could possibly see a bounce up from these levels. Let's take a look at the Williams percent R just to follow that thought even further. And let me clear the screen off and go down to look at the Williams percent R. So we're very oversold, much like we were here. Do you see this right here? And let me just scroll that on the screen so you see, put the telestrator on. So here's the point here, here's the point here, and here's where we are right now. So we could be at a level where we're oversold and we see a bounce come up. I mean, clearly a lot of people are short this market, but basically it is a trading range now, especially since you've been going sideways for so long, almost 3 months. And you can see it right here, pretty much the same thing. So I think we could see a bounce from this level for the dollar. It's not a guarantee, it's not a trade, it's just we see a bounce from these levels because the market hasn't gone down, which should have been very, very negative news for the dollar. That was today. So let's see how this plays out. Let me take this off the screen. Let's look at the next market, because this is the market I really want us to pay close attention to. And I think it's going to offer some great opportunities for us later in the year. And that is the CRB Index. Official name, the Reuters/Jefferies CRB Commodity Index. So this market, like the last several markets, the last 3 markets, has been going sideways. And we think this market's building a fairly significant energy field. We'll just say EF, to push it higher later on in the year. But we need to see a couple of things happen. We do not have all of our trade triangles a plus on this yet. I want to watch those very carefully, but certainly a move over the 350 level, which is right here, will signify this market is probably going to head higher. So let's see, let me take this off the screen and scope this out just a little bit further for you. But we also, and I want to say this carefully, because this market's rolling over, the momentum's rolling over, so we may see a pullback back down to 335 as this market builds momentum to take it higher and possibly create a head and shoulders base to carry it higher. So let's just go where we are right now. We are mixed, Monthly is down, the weekly's up, it's a trading range. So that's all you have to know at this market at this time. But please pay close attention to this index, because this could be the really big trade for the year. And let's go to something, this is kind of fun, which we've been doing. We've had a lot of success. A lot of people called in, and that's our TV show. And I want to thank you so much for all the questions you've sent into our MarketClub TV show, because, and also I'd like to invite you to be part of our next show by calling 410-867-2100 extension 129. The number's on the screen right now. That's 410-867-2100 extension 129. Leave us a message. Tell us how you use MarketClub. Ask a question about the market or anything to do with the markets, and we'll do our best to get you on the show. By calling today, I'm going to enter your name into a drawing to win a 1-year membership to MarketClub. The winner will be announced at this week's coming show. So don't forget, call in, leave a message. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to talk to you. We don't actually want to talk to you because it's going to be answered automatically. So call us in with your questions and how you use MarketClub. If you're not a MarketClub member, it's not a problem. Ask a question about the market. We'll be happy to answer it for you. Hey, as always, we rely on our market-proven trade triangle technology for catching the big moves. This is Adam Hewison. Thanks for stopping by. Every success, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock.